Hi, I'm Bob Rubart with the Oracle Technology Network, and my guest today is author, educator, and technology consultant Jessica Keys. Jessica is the president at New Art Technologies. She's an instructor at the University of Liverpool, and she's the author of 24 books and more than 200 articles. Even with that prolific output, she has risk carpal tunnel syndrome yet again with her latest book, The CIO's Guide to Oracle Products and Solutions, available from CRC Press. How are you today, Jessica?
I am fine. Good weather today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So tell me a little bit about your book.
Okay. Well, the premise of the book is that technologists are expert in all things technology. CIOs may not be. Oracle has such a plethora of tool sets. We wanted to create a book, that actually introduced all the tool sets, but do it more than just on a commodity basis, which is here's the tool, here's how you use it. This was from a strategic perspective, which is actually more important for the CIO. How do you integrate these tools into your enterprise?
Okay. The book description mentions that the book features management best practices and lessons learned from users and developers. From your perspective as a consultant, what is the state of the relationship between the CIO, users, and developers at the typical organization? And how much input do users and developers have into the decisions that the CIO makes?
I really think it depends on the type of organization. Smaller organizations, obviously, everyone is almost at the same level. The newer, leaner type of organizations, the Microsofts, not that they're new, but the Facebooks, the different search engines, they all, because they're run by technologists, they all try to keep everything on the same level. And you can actually go and speak to the people in charge and tell them of your opinions. Not quite so easy if you work, for instance, in financial services, where you have a very, very rigid hierarchy. However, CIOs typically, as opposed to other C-level, managers, CIOs tend to be a little bit more understanding of the need to really, work with their technologists and get their opinions. So I think what you're seeing is like a lot of people, or a lot of CIOs, who are actually really getting or attempting to get very good feedback and input, not only from their technologists, but from the end users at large.
What do you think is the advantage that CIOs have in that? What makes the CIOs a bit more willing to engage in that kind of dialogue?
Well, they know their jobs are on the line. I heard many stories. In fact, I heard one today where the CIO made the decision to actually create this customer relationship management system instead of buying it off the shelf, to create it in-house, which is actually not a bad idea, except that he or she did not really look at the skill sets of the developers, and the developers couldn't deliver. So the CIO is actually out on the cold now. So you really need to understand best, as I mentioned before, how to integrate your product or the products that you buy, into the enterprise. And that also means, what are the skill sets of the people that are deploying that? What are the skill sets of the people that are actually going to be using it?
So, yeah, something to be aware of if you want to avoid being escorted out by security.
Right, exactly. Which happens all too frequently.
So, what did you learn in writing this book? What do you know now that you did not know when you set out on this project?
Well, I was shocked really at the number of tool sets that Oracle has. I have lists over here, on my pieces of paper here, of dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds. They seem to be in every area. When I first started out, Oracle was just a database, and they seem to have proliferated. You work with them, in every area. So because there's so many products out there, what I've learned is that it's a much more deliberate and difficult balancing act that a CIO has to have, to use in order to make sure that products, are successfully implemented into the organization. So that's basically what I learned, that it's far more difficult than when I first started, and I won't even tell you when that was.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me? Well, actually, what I typically do is I typically go out and I teach this to my students at the University of Liverpool and other places that I teach. And we're doing that right now. Actually, I'm teaching a marketing class right now where we're talking about how to go about and integrate product sets into a typical organization. So I haven't come up with a new top for a book, maybe one of your viewers can come up with an idea for me. Usually what I tend to write is things that are very topical and very trendy. So I think everything's been written about by now. So maybe a little vacation. That will be the next step for me.
All right. Well, Jessica, I want to thank you for taking time to talk to me this morning, and good luck with the book.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And I should point out to viewers that if you look up there, there will be a link to a sample chapter from that book that's been published on OTN, so you can get a preview before you go out and buy the book. So again, Jessica, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.